Have you ever studied all night, only to forget everything the next day? Or tried to focus, but your mind kept drifting away? What if I told you your brain is not broken? It's just following the wrong rules. In the next few minutes, I'll show you 12 powerful brain secrets that can rewire your memory, sharpen your focus, and unlock your true potential. Hello, everyone, and welcome back to the channel Soulful English, where we don't just talk about books. We break them down, simplify them, and turn them into life-changing tools for your mind, your future, and your success. Today, we're diving deep into a book that could literally reprogram your brain to work better, faster, smarter. This is the summary of the international bestseller, Brain Rules, written by Dr. John Medina, a world-famous molecular biologist and brain researcher. This book is not about theory or boring science. It's about how your brain actually works and how you can use that power. You will learn how to study faster, remember more, stay focused, and become unstoppable. Millions have read this book already. Now it's your turn, and you're going to get all 12 powerful rules right here. Every rule is based on real science, but we'll explain it in simple English so even beginners can understand and apply it in real life. Let me ask you one thing. Have you ever forgotten what you studied just one day ago? Felt tired and foggy even after a full night's sleep? Tried to focus, but your mind kept wandering away from you? Wanted to be more confident, faster, smarter, but didn't know how? Then this book is for you because your brain is not broken. It's just running on the wrong rules. This book will teach you the right rules, the science-based ones that can completely change your life. You will discover how to study, how to think, how to work, and even how to sleep in new ways. If you're new here, before we begin, make sure to subscribe to this channel. We turn world-famous books into powerful emotional and life-changing lessons, all in simple English that anyone can follow. Now, let's begin. Your brain is the most powerful machine in the universe. But here's the problem. No one gave you the instruction manual. You go to school, you work, you try to succeed, but nobody teaches you how to use your brain. That's why most people forget things quickly. They lose focus. They struggle to learn. They feel stuck and hopeless. But in this book, Dr. John Medina gives you 12 brain rules, 12 simple but powerful truths that explain how your brain actually works. You will discover how you can use it to live better, think clearer, and achieve more in every area of life. Each rule is like a secret door. Once you open it, your life starts changing. And today, we're opening the first door. And if you're learning English, this video will help you too. Every rule is explained in simple, clear English, so you can improve your language skills while learning how to use your brain better. It's not just a book summary, it's English practice that can change your life. Brain Rule 1. Exercise boosts brain power. Yes, you heard that right. Exercise isn't just for six-pack abs. It's not just for burning fat. It's for boosting your brain. Your brain works better when your body moves. Our ancestors didn't sit in front of computers all day. They were always moving, hunting, walking, surviving. The brain evolved this way. It performs at its best when the body is in motion. Dr. Medina explains that exercise increases oxygen to your brain. It improves memory, focus, creativity, and even protects your brain from diseases like Alzheimer's. And here's the amazing part. You don't need a gym or hours of training. Even 20 to 30 minutes of walking a day can start changing your brain. People who exercise regularly have better memory and faster reaction times. Their brain size is bigger, especially in the part responsible for learning. They feel less stressed and less anxious. Students who walk before class perform better in tests. Movement is the hidden secret. So, if you feel tired, foggy, or unmotivated, The solution isn't more coffee. The solution is movement. Let me tell you about someone I met a few years ago. His name was Daniel. He was 42 years old. He was overweight, depressed, couldn't focus on anything. He was failing in his job. His memory was getting worse every day. His doctor said his brain was slowing down. One morning at 4 a.m., he just put on his shoes and started walking. That's it, every day, 30 minutes, no phone, no excuses, just walking. After 3 weeks, his focus improved noticeably. After 2 months, he got promoted at work. After 6 months, he lost 10 kilos. But more importantly, he felt alive again. He said, "I got my brain back. I feel alive again." Why? Because walking was the fuel his brain was missing. If you want to remember better, if you want to think clearly, if you want to become smarter, start moving your body. Not next week, not tomorrow. Today, your brain is waiting. Brain rule 2, survival. The brain evolved too. Your brain is not just for school. It wasn't created to do math problems or memorize vocabulary. It was built for survival. Over millions of years, every fear, every decision, every thought came from that ancient goal: stay alive at all costs. But here's the truth. This survival programming is still inside you, and it can either push you forward or hold you back. Imagine early humans walking in the wild. Danger everywhere. Animals, storms, hunger, unknown paths. Their brains had to be hyper-aware. They needed to solve problems, be emotionally alert, remember past dangers, and predict future threats. It was the key to staying alive. So, the human brain evolved in the jungle, not in a classroom. That's why your brain responds strongly to emotion and urgency. Faces, movement, fear, novelty, and new things trigger your brain far more than dull repetition. It's the survival instinct inside you. But here's the problem. Today, we're sitting in offices and classrooms. We're scrolling endlessly. The brain is bored, stressed, disconnected. Your brain still wants to hunt, solve real problems, feel meaning, and explore. But what do most people do instead? They memorize things they don't care about, work jobs that feel meaningless, sit for hours without movement, consume without creating. And that creates mental burnout, because your brain wasn't built for this. It was built to survive through meaning, exploration, and challenge. There was a young woman named Lena. She was working in a cold, gray office in London, 9 hours a day, no passion. Her mental health started collapsing. One day, she remembered her childhood dream to build homes for people in places no one else would. She quit her job, joined a volunteering mission, and within a year, she was designing solar-powered homes in remote deserts in Kenya. She said, "For the first time in years, I feel alive. My brain is awake again." She finally aligned with purpose. That is the power of aligning with your brain's true purpose: survival through meaning. You must find the same spark. If you feel lost, tired, or like something is missing, it's not because you're lazy, it's because your brain craves depth. Ask yourself, what challenge excites me? What danger am I avoiding? What problem can I solve that actually matters for me? Your brain evolved to survive, but today, you must evolve to live. Don't just exist. Engage, explore, solve, risk, build. That's what your brain is begging you to do. Brain rule 3, wiring. Every brain is wired differently. There's no one like you. Not in your street, not in your school, not in your country, not in the entire universe. Your brain is 100% unique. The way it connects, thinks, feels, and learns is unlike anyone else. So why are we all trying to learn the same way? Why are we all being judged by the same tests? Why are we all forced to follow the same path? Because we've forgotten how different we really are. Think of your brain like a computer. but not just any computer. A machine that rewires itself every day based on your memories, emotions, experiences, fears, habits, and environment. It never stops changing. That means your way of learning is different from mine. Your way of thinking is different from your brother, teacher, boss, or friend. What works for one person might never work for another. Some people learn by reading. Others learn by watching carefully. Others learn by doing, moving, building, teaching, or even failing. Each path reflects a unique wiring that can't be forced into one mold. There was a boy named Ethan. He always failed in class. He couldn't memorize anything. His teacher called him slow. But Ethan had a secret. He could see machines in his mind. He could look at a fan or light bulb. He understood how it worked without ever being taught. Years later, Ethan became an engineer, not because of school, but because he followed his wiring. Today, he builds silent wind turbines that power homes in rural villages. He said, "I wasn't dumb. I just learned differently." Your brain physically rewires every time you learn something new. No two brains store the same memory in the same place. Even identical twins have different brain wiring. People with dyslexia, ADHD, or autism often have different learning wiring, not broken brains. Stop comparing your brain to someone else's. Stop thinking you're not smart just because you don't learn the way others do. Instead, find what works for you. Test different learning styles. Play to your strengths, and don't be afraid to go against the system. Your brain is not broken, it's just beautifully different. And the moment you start working with it, not against it, your life transforms. Brain Rule 4. Attention. We don't pay attention to boring things. Let's be brutally honest. The modern world is full of noise. Every second, something is trying to steal your attention. Ads, messages, social media, screens, notifications. Everything is competing for your limited focus. And here's the truth most people ignore. Your brain was not built for multitasking. It was built to survive and focus. That means it only pays attention to what it finds important. If something feels boring, your brain automatically switches off immediately. And that's not your fault. That's biology. Your brain is like a security guard standing at the gate of awareness. It asks, is this dangerous? Is this new? Is this emotional? Is this useful? If yes, the gate opens wide. If the answer is no, your attention moves on. That's why we forget long lectures. That's why most meetings feel useless. That's why we zone out while reading boring books. Let's say you walk into a room with a cream wallpaper. Nothing changes. You don't even notice it. But suddenly, there's a flash of lightning outside. Boom! What happens instantly? Your eyes widen. Your body freezes. Your brain says, pay attention. That's how attention works. Your brain notices change. It notices movement, emotion, surprise, and urgency. But if everything stays the same, your brain stops caring and drifts away. The brain can only focus for about 10 minutes at a time before needing a reset. That's natural and unavoidable. Emotion activates more brain activity than plain facts. Visuals, stories, and humor boost attention more than dry information ever could. People remember beginnings and endings, not the boring middle. So if you want to study better, speak better, or teach better, trigger attention. If you want people to listen, if you want your brain to focus, then you have to make it care deeply. Use stories, use visuals, ask questions, add surprise, change your tone, take short breaks, make information emotional and meaningful. Don't just dump facts. Make the brain feel something. Whether you're a student, a speaker, a creator, or dreamer, remember this. Attention is currency. Spend it wisely. Protect it fiercely. Never waste it on things that don't matter. Create reasons to care. Brain Rule 5. Short-term memory. Repeat to remember. Think of your brain like a whiteboard. New ideas are written quickly there. But here's the problem. The brain's whiteboard is tiny, and the writing fades in seconds. Without repetition, the memory disappears. If you don't repeat what you learned, it's gone, erased, forgotten forever. That's short-term memory. It's fast, it's useful, but it doesn't last. Your short-term memory can only hold about 7 pieces of information for less than 30 seconds. Example, someone tells you a phone number. You remember it briefly, then you blink, check your phone, and it's gone completely. Sound familiar? That's your short-term memory. It's limited, and it needs help to turn into long-term memory. That help is repetition. Imagine you have a small bucket with holes in it. You pour water in, but within seconds, it leaks out. Now imagine pouring water again and again. Each time, the bucket holds a little more before leaking. That's repetition working. Eventually, the bucket gets strong enough to hold water longer. That's how your memory works. Without repetition, it leaks. With repetition, it strengthens. Most people forget 50% of what they learn within 1 hour. After 1 day, 70%. After 1 week, 90%, unless they review it. That's why repetition is not boring. It's essential for building true memory. But there's a smarter way to do it. Use spaced repetition. Review at intervals, 1 hour, 1 day, 3 days, then 1 week, 1 month. This helps the brain lock the memory in deeply. That's how you make it last. Tips to improve short-term memory. Chunking. Break large info into smaller parts. Example, 937426 becomes 937426. It's easier to recall. Association. Link new info to what you already know. Visualization. Turn words into mental pictures. Teaching is another powerful tool. The best way to remember something is to teach it to someone else. Don't blame your brain for forgetting. It's doing exactly what it was built to do. But if you want to remember, you must train it intentionally. Think of every piece of knowledge as a seed. If you only water it once, it dies. It cannot survive. But if you come back to it again and again, it grows roots. One day, it becomes part of you. That's how you go from knowing something to becoming it. Brain. Rule 6. Long-term memory. Remember to repeat often. Short-term memory is fast and temporary, but long-term memory shapes your identity. That's where real learning lives forever inside you. That's how knowledge sticks. Not just for days, but for years. And here's the key. Visit it again and again. It's not about how many hours you study in one day. It's about how often you come back to it. Think of long-term memory as a path in the forest. The first time you walk it, the path is weak, grass is high, bushes block the way. You move slowly, but if you walk the same path again tomorrow and the day after that, something amazing happens. The path gets clearer, easier, faster. Eventually, it becomes a real road. That's how neurons in your brain create strong connections. Every time you recall a memory, you strengthen the path. Imagine writing a word on wet cement. At first, it's clear but still soft. Touch it too soon and it smudges. Wait too long without repeating and the rain will wash it away. But if you trace that word repeatedly, it lasts. Eventually, it becomes permanent. That's what repetition does to your long-term memory. It engraves your learning into your brain. New memories are fragile. They need repeated exposure to become permanent. Sleep, stress, and attention all impact memory formation. Memory is not like a file you save. It's like a muscle you train. Recall strengthens more than rereading. This means if you study and review at intervals, you'll remember far more than just reading. Spaced repetition works. If you test yourself instead of only reading, you'll retain more. If you apply knowledge in real life, it becomes part of you. Tips to strengthen long-term memory. Review after 24 hours, 3 days, 1 week, 1 month. Teach what you learn. Even to a wall. Use flashcards and quiz yourself. Link new ideas to old ones. Use storytelling and visual memory. Your brain loves pictures. So many people feel like failures when they forget something. They say, "My memory is bad." They believe they're not smart. But that's not true. You're not broken. You just haven't learned how to train your memory yet. And now you know. It's not about forcing. It's about repeating, remembering, and rewiring. Let time be your teammate, and your brain will follow. Brain Rule 7: sleep, sleep well, think well. We live in a world that glorifies hustle. No sleep, just work. Winners don't sleep. Sleep is for the weak. But the truth is, sleep is not a waste of time at all. Sleep is your brain's most powerful tool. When you sleep, your body rests, but your brain gets to work deeply. It processes memories, solves problems, cleans out toxins, and prepares you for the next day. Sleep is vital, not optional. Skipping sleep doesn't make you stronger. It makes you slower, weaker, and less smart. Lack of sleep damages focus and clarity. It affects creativity, memory, learning speed, decision-making, and mood. Even just one night of poor sleep reduces brain performance nearly 40%. That's the same as being legally drunk. You wouldn't go to school drunk. You wouldn't study drunk. But sleep deprivation feels the same. Imagine your brain as a factory. During the day, workers run everywhere, taking orders, solving problems, moving fast, filling every corner with activity. But at night, something changes. The lights go dim. Machines slow down. The cleanup crew arrives silently to fix the chaos. They take out trash, sort files, organize mess, and repair machines. If the factory skips this shift, mess piles up dangerously. Eventually, the system crashes. That's your brain without sleep. During sleep, your brain clears waste and harmful toxins that damage neurons. REM sleep improves problem solving and creativity. Deep sleep locks in long-term memory. People who sleep well are faster learners overall. They become better decision makers and more emotionally stable. Teens who get enough sleep perform better on exams consistently. Athletes win more often. Even short naps help. Just 20 to 30 minutes can boost brain performance significantly. It's like recharging a drained battery. So, stick to a sleep schedule, even on weekends. Avoid caffeine. 6 hours before bed, turn off screens. 1 hour before, keep your room dark and cool. Meditate or listen to calm music before sleep. Avoid heavy food too late at night. Sleep is not just for recovery, it's part of your growth. It's part of your success. Respect it deeply every day. Never again say, "I'll sleep when I'm dead." Because without sleep, you're not truly alive. You're slower, foggier, losing your edge. If you want to be smart, focused, motivated, and truly successful, respect your sleep, protect your sleep, schedule your sleep, just like you schedule your dreams. Without rest, your dreams remain dreams. With sleep, they become plans, and plans become power. Brain Rule 8: stress. Stressed brains don't learn the same way. You might think stress just makes you feel tired or overwhelmed, but stress actually changes your brain. It stops you from learning. It blocks memory. It slows thinking. It kills confidence deeply. Worst of all, stress makes you believe you're not capable when you actually are. Stress doesn't just hurt your body. It shuts down your brain, especially the parts you need most: focus, memory, and confidence. Stress hijacks the mind completely. Your brain has something called the amygdala, the fear center. When you feel pressure, fear, or anxiety, the amygdala takes control. It's like an alarm bell ringing loudly inside your head. Blood flow is redirected to survival parts. Learning stops immediately. Memory fades. Logic disappears. You become emotional, distracted, and foggy. This is not your fault. It's your brain protecting you. But it doesn't know the difference between a lion attack and an angry email. Both trigger the same stress response. Imagine a beautiful library filled with books. Every idea, memory, and lesson is stored there. But suddenly a flood arrives. Water fills the room. The lights go out. Shelves collapse. Books float. Pages tear. Can you study clearly now? Of course not. That's your brain on stress. It doesn't matter how smart you are. Stress floods your ability to learn. Chronic stress shrinks the hippocampus, the memory center of the brain. Students under stress perform worse not from lack of study, but because their brains were blocked. Stress releases cortisol. Over time, it damages memory, creativity, and emotional control dangerously. Children in high-stress homes often struggle with learning even in safe classrooms. Their brains carry the scars of constant pressure. Types of stress that hurt learning include toxic relationships, fear of failure, constant pressure, unresolved trauma, negative self-talk, and comparison. Even living in unsafe or chaotic environments harms the brain. If you want to grow, you must protect your mind. Protect it like a warrior guards a castle. Practice deep breathing and meditation, even for just 5 minutes a day. Get out in nature, walk, move, breathe deeply, express emotions through journaling. Talk to someone you trust. Don't carry pain alone. Cut toxic inputs, bad news, negative people, endless scrolling. Replace negative self-talk with kindness. And laugh. Laughter heals the brain. If you feel like you can't focus, like your memory is weak, like you're stuck in fog, pause and reflect. You're not broken. You're stressed. You don't need to study harder. You need to heal, breathe, and protect your mind. Because no flower can bloom in a storm, and no brain can learn under attack. Heal the storm first. Then you'll find your brilliance again. Brain Rule 9. Sensory integration. Stimulate more of the senses to maximize your brain. Most people try to learn using only one sense, usually reading text with their eyes. But the brain hates monotony. Your brain was not designed to learn through just words. It was designed to learn through multiple senses at the same time. In fact, when you combine more senses, you remember more, you understand faster, you stay focused longer without losing energy. That's called sensory integration. And it's one of your brain's biggest superpowers. Use it wisely. Unlock its full potential. Your brain has 5 doors: sight, hearing, smell, taste, and touch. Open more than one door, and the brain comes alive. It becomes more alert, engaged, and active. It creates more connections, leading to better memory and deeper understanding of material. This is why you remember the smell of your grandmother's kitchen, the sound of your favorite school song, the feeling of books, the taste of food you ate on your birthday. A face you haven't seen in years comes back after one glance. Imagine reading about Egyptian pyramids in a textbook. Dry, just facts, ink on paper, no life, no emotion. Now imagine visiting a museum instead. You see ancient stones. You hear desert winds. You touch sand. You smell oils. Which experience stays longer in memory? Exactly. That's sensory integration. Your brain loves it. It was designed for it. Students who learn with visuals plus audio retain 65% more after 3 days. Multisensory learning activates far more brain networks. It leads to stronger connections. Learning through touch improves understanding for people who struggle with reading. Movement helps kinesthetic learners. Children in sensory stimulating classrooms perform better than those in plain ones. Their brains engage naturally with color, sound, and space. Tips for using sensory integration: add visuals, diagrams, drawings, and mind maps. Use sound. Audiobooks and music help memory stick. Explain out loud. Touch physical objects like flashcards or models. Involve smell or taste. Light a scent while studying. Move your body. Walk while memorizing. Use gestures. Even reading your notes out loud activates more brain regions effectively. Don't limit your brain. Don't treat it like a single-lane road. It's a superhighway with multiple open lanes. Use your eyes, ears, hands, and voice. The more senses you use, the more alive and unforgettable your learning becomes. Don't study harder. Study deeper. Study fully. That's how your brain truly wants to learn. Brain Rule 10: Vision. Vision trumps all other senses. Your brain connects to 5 senses: sight, sound, touch, taste, and smell. But one dominates: vision. Your brain is a visual machine. It understands images faster, remembers pictures longer, and learns better through visuals than words. Over half of your brain's resources are used for vision-related tasks. That shows how powerful this sense truly is. Read this list quickly: apple, category, mountain, clock, sunset. Now try to forget them. Impossible, right? Your brain made pictures instantly. You saw the apple. You saw the sunset. You didn't even try. The brain creates images automatically, faster than words. That's how powerful vision is. Imagine watching a silent movie. No words, no sound. Yet you understand the story instantly. You know the hero, the villain, the emotion, the danger. Vision reads faces, body language, colors, angles, and shadows. It connects you to emotion, memory, and action. People remember 10% of what they hear, but 65% of what they see. Adding visuals improves learning up to 400%. Vision is processed 60,000 times faster than text. Your eyes rule the brain. Children learn faster with images, diagrams, and colors. Students recall more with color-coded notes. Visuals bring learning to life. Brain Rule 11: Gender. Male and female brains are different. We often hear people say everyone's brain is the same, but in reality, science says something different. Male and female brains are not better or worse. They are simply different in design. That means they process information differently, handle emotions differently, react to stress differently, and store memories differently. They learn in unique ways. Understanding this helps us build better communication, stronger relationships, and more respectful learning environments. Let's break down the differences clearly. Stress response. In men, stress activates fight or flight. In women, stress activates tend and befriend. They build relationships and seek support under pressure. Emotion processing. Women's brains are wired for emotional detail. Men's brains focus more on general problem solving and external outcomes. Memory. Women tend to remember people, conversations, and emotions better. Men often remember spatial directions, movement, and physical detail more strongly. Learning style. Girls respond better to face-to-face learning, storytelling, and emotional content. Boys prefer movement, competition, and logic-based challenges. Again, this isn't true for every individual, but science shows patterns in how male and female brains are wired differently. Imagine you have 2 radios. Both can play music, both have antennas and batteries, but one picks up bass better, the other picks up treble better. Neither is broken. They are simply tuned differently. That's how male and female brains work. Different frequencies. Same beauty, male brains have more connections within each hemisphere. This supports spatial tasks and mechanical understanding. Female brains have more connections between hemispheres. This supports multitasking and emotional awareness. Both are valuable, neither superior. Girls' brains develop language and emotion centers earlier. Boys' brains develop spatial and motor centers earlier. Each follows its unique rhythm under stress. Boys tend to act out, while girls tend to withdraw. These are brain-based tendencies, not fixed rules. Understanding them helps teachers, parents, and partners support one another better. It prevents misunderstanding, blame, and conflict in daily life. When we respect brain differences, we create patience, support, and deeper learning. We build stronger bonds in classrooms and relationships. Whether you're male or female, there is no such thing as a better brain. There is only your brain, and your brain is exactly how it's supposed to be. Different doesn't mean wrong. Different means unique. Unique means gifted. If you're a teacher, respect both learning styles. If you're a learner, honor your own style. Don't force conformity. If you're a partner, learn how their brain works, not how you want it to work. Respect builds harmony, because once we stop trying to make everyone the same, we build a world where everyone feels seen and understood. Brain Rule 12. Exploration. We are powerful and natural explorers. There's something inside you, older than technology, stronger than fear, wiser than doubt. It's the instinct to explore. From the moment you were born, before you could speak or walk, your brain was already reaching out, grabbing, touching, looking, listening, asking, testing. Exploration is not something you learn. It's something you are born with. You are not meant to stay in one place, not physically, not mentally, not emotionally. You are wired to grow, to learn, to expand, to understand what you don't yet know. That's your core design. This is the final rule, and it might be the most beautiful one. The brain isn't a passive machine. It doesn't wait for information to arrive. It chases it. It forms questions. It builds maps. It creates new pathways. It tests ideas. It corrects mistakes. When you explore, your brain lights up in ways nothing else can achieve. This is why kids learn so fast. They don't fear questions. They don't fear curiosity. They're not afraid to fail. Imagine a tiny seed in dark soil. It doesn't know what's above. It doesn't have a map, but it grows deep inside. It knows there is light, so it pushes and climbs through dirt, not because told to, but because built to. One day that seed becomes a tree. Your brain is the same. It wasn't made to stay buried. It was made to reach upward. Babies are born curious. Even in the womb, they react to sound and light. The brain is constantly forming guesses about the world. Exploring creates new neural connections and activates dopamine, the chemical of excitement. People who continue exploring into old age stay sharper and happier longer. Curiosity keeps the brain awake and alive. Your brain craves learning. It doesn't care about age, money, or background. It only asks one question: what's next? Exploration doesn't always mean travel. It can mean reading a new book, asking difficult questions, or trying a new skill, speaking a new language, solving a problem you don't understand, visiting a place outside your comfort zone, meeting new perspectives, learning from failure instead of running from it. Each of these actions makes your brain grow stronger and more alive. This is the final rule, and maybe the most human one. If you feel bored, lost, or stuck, listen. It's not because you're lazy, it's because you stopped exploring. The moment you explore again, even a small step, everything changes. Your brain wakes up. You don't need all the answers. You don't need permission. You don't need it figured out. You just need to move, ask, try, and open your mind again. The child within you is still alive. That child once asked a million questions. That child believed the world was magical. That child believed they could do anything. That explorer never died. That brain still wants to grow. Let it. Nurture it. Feed it. Exploration is the spark. Now Frian Benkos and 12 rules. 12 ways to change your life. 12 ways to use your brain. The most powerful thing you will ever own. Remember this. Your brain is not broken, weak, lazy, old, or slow. It is not damaged. It has simply been waiting for the right rules, waiting for you to believe again. Because you were not born to just go through life. You were born to learn, heal, lead, build, change, love, and grow. Every single one begins with your brain. You have a brain that can rewire itself and heal trauma. It can learn anything, speak any language, build new habits, break patterns, think new thoughts, and shape your future. But only if you choose to use it wisely. Most people won't. They'll ignore these rules. They'll stay distracted. They'll stay afraid. They'll say, I'm not smart enough. And the world will lose the genius they could have become. But you're different. You made it to the end. You stayed. You listened. You learned. That means you took the first step. Now take the next one. Let this be your new belief. I have a powerful brain. I will protect it. I will feed it. I will train it. I will use it to change my life and maybe even the world. Let this book be your map. Let these 12 rules be your compass. Let your mind lead you to potential. Because the world doesn't need more people who memorize things. It needs people who think deeply, act bravely, and dream wildly. That starts with you, and it starts today. Thank you. If this summary moved you, share it, comment, tag someone. You never know whose life this could change. And if you're new, subscribe for more powerful, emotional, life-changing summaries in simple English. We don't just teach, we transform.